let's get those pants off.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Autopod Decepticast. This is your weekly podcast that delivers a minute-by-minute breakdown of the 1986 Transformers movie. And this is episode 78. We're closing in at the end here, and that means we're covering the 1 hour, 17 minute, and 1 second to the 1 hour and 18 minute mark. This is your host, Aaron, and as you know, my co-hosts and I have been through a lot together. Just the other day, I was recalling our days as silent film stars. Well, shortly after getting fired from our cushy studio job, we received what we thought was an invite to perform for an important Mexican dignitary, but was in actuality a mixed-up plea for help in freeing a small village from a local warlord. So, we traveled to Mexico, sang an amazing rendition of My Little Buttercup at a local cantina, dodged some German shooters, and conducted a Hollywood-style stunt show to evade these bandits. And then we performed for the Mexican warlord, got shot by that very warlord, let the village get raided, pissed off the town folks, killed a German, then rallied the original villagers to stand up to the warlord and his team of bandits using some good old-fashioned Hollywood trickery. You guys remember that?
Would you say I have a plethora of piñatas? Wait, Caleb got one! You got that reference.
I know three amigos.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Caleb.
AKA Lucky Day Dusty Bottoms.
And you're Aaron.
Do you remember their characters' names, even though I just said?
Nope.
Lucky Day, Dusty Bottoms, and Ned Nederlander.
I feel like I haven't seen that movie. I think this is true. I think that it was on whenever Aaron, you, and Jason and I went to Mexico. I feel like we watched that in the hotel.
How appropriate.
Yeah, that's on brand.
Yeah. We don't really have to go too much into that.
It's a great movie.
What?
Go watch Three Amigos.
Yeah, there you go.
Have you watched it recently?
Nope.
I wonder if it's like super racist.
Oh, I bet it is.
Yeah, I bet it is too.
Totally is, but it's still considered a comedy classic.
Oof, like all racist movies.
I feel like, let's think about this. Movies that probably are very, very culturally insensitive, but are comedy classics.
Road to Morocco with Bob Hope and...
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
I was hoping you were going to...
that.
It has Jerry Lewis playing a Chinese person.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Caleb, finish what your thought was.
Well, it's... Who's Bing Crosby.
Bing Crosby, okay.
Road to Morocco. I like those movies, but I haven't watched them in a long time, and I'm pretty sure Road to Morocco is probably full.
I think he beat his family.
Yeah.
Bing Crosby?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard he was not a good person.
No, most...
Tap dancing with Danny fucking Kaye.
I do love White Christmas.
That is a great movie.
Let's not dwell on Bing Crosby beating his family. Let's go back.
Let's only talk about.
Let's go back to the
Blazing Saddles comes to mind, but
that's
but yeah,
but all the people that act that way are foils.
It's meant to make that the point. That's the point of the movie, is that it's pointing out how racist stuff is.
Mm-hmm. Still, it's tough to hear.
It is very tough. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. That's kind of the whole point. But yeah, it's hard to...
Let's find the racist elements of Transformers the movie. What is out there? I think we've identified plenty of sexist elements. I don't think
being robots, you can... Well, I guess Michael Bay found a way.
That's true. Yeah, leave it to him. So moving on a little, let's talk the news.
Dateline. Transformers. Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. America and all the ships at sea. The Autopod Decepticast has news. Let's go to press.
So, not really news, but a reminder that we're going to be at TFCon, and we'll be there hosting our very own event /panel/
vaudeville show.
Presents, yeah.
Slash game
It's going to be a
show.
silent movie.
Yeah.
We're gonna.
I don't
just
know how we're
pantomime.
going to cram all this in 55 minutes.
It's a folly.
But we will be revisiting a handful of the most memorable and questionable moments. We'll be talking about some of our favorite script deviations. We're going to be playing a few games with the audience.
Little trivia, perhaps.
And at this point, we're still pretty sure Sunday the 28th is the day that's going down, and we still don't know the time. If we get any clarity on that, I guess we could put some little bumpers
Yeah,
in
throw
here.
it in there.
But, we've been working on the content. We're feeling good about it. It's going to be great. We're going to have some merch. We need to figure out how to sell that merch,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
we'll have it.
And we'll also, whatever we don't sell, and even stuff even if we do, we're going to throw it up on the store, on the website. So you'll finally, once the podcast is probably over, be able to buy our tchotchkes.
Yeah, I know there's a few listeners that are going, and so we're looking forward to meeting them. I know Mike Seibert is coming.
Of Mike Seibert
not
Radio.
forget.
Yeah, Mike Seibert Radio, and he's been talking about us on his end, and obviously we want to return the favor there.
I'm a couple episodes behind on his, so I need to get caught up.
He just went to the whatever the name of the Transformers convention is up in the Northwest, and had a good experience. And then of course he's been talking about coming out to TFCon and
Gotcha.
and hanging out with us,
Partnering. And by the time this is broadcast, that episode of his will probably be a month old. But no, we're looking forward to getting together with Mike and putting on a good show out there.
Absolutely.
So that's October 26th through 28th, Crown Plaza, Chicago.
Be there and be square.
So, last episode recap.
One thing before we do that, we forgot to mention last episode, the theatrical release of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
So most of our listeners know, but I'll put it out there anyway. Who are they called?
Fathom Events, good lord. You definitely need to go to a doctor. Fathom Events is releasing a one-night-only theatrical release of Transformers the movie.
Nationwide.
Nationwide.
And we were at first bummed because where we live in Southwest Missouri, the nearest place was, 3 hours away.
Yep.
And it's on a Thursday, so it would have interrupted our busy work schedules and whatever. But anyway, due to popular demand from people like that were geographically challenged in this situation, they've added additional theaters, and
I think like 300 theaters.
yeah, lo and behold, it is showing here in Springfield, and we're going to go see the movie.
And that is September 27th,
At
Thursday
7
at 7
o'clock.
o'clock
Yeah.
Central Time.
Tickets purchased.
Yeah, I'm going to bring our Bro Cells rep along as a
right.
thank you for
Well, he's not just a rep; he's the president.
he's the
and CEO.
president. Yeah, so I'm going to bring him as a thank you for being our
Supporting the
sponsor.
show.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your service.
I think his first reaction was, "Yeah, okay."
The what now?
Yeah. So I'm bringing my 10-year-old son.
What kind of formers?
And maybe he has not seen this movie.
Right. Does he even know what the Transformers are?
I mean, there
Yeah,
are
he knows.
cartoons out aimed at kids.
Oh,
maybe a little
he
younger
was
than
watching
him.
the Rescue Bots?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So he's familiar with Transformers, but he's never seen. It's funny that I've never shown him this movie. Of course, I haven't watched this
Sure.
movie either.
Barely,
over the past
even when you're here.
2 years. So him and I are going to go, and he's going to see it for the first time, and maybe he'll have that. He's 10. Maybe he'll have that crying moment when Optimus dies.
I can't imagine he's going to care that much.
No, he's not. He's going to just be like, all he's going to care about is the action and to make sure he's got a ready supply of Mike and Ike's in his hand.
Dad, don't you let those Mike and I. I'd better be bottomless. You want to take me to this garbage?
Yeah.
Kids today are so desensitized from all their murder simulators
That's
that they're
right.
playing that the death of Optimus probably nothing to this guy.
How did you know? Yeah, he plays Murder Simulator on iPad all the time.
We should create an iPad game called Murder Simulator.
Except it's not a shooter. You literally stab people in the
Well,
face.
I think you get to choose different adventures.
It just
like
says-
a garrote.
A strangle.
It just says beat somebody with this iPad now.
But the kids watching it through the screen.
The camera's on. Yeah. So yeah, we're stoked. We're gonna get to go see it,
Absolutely.
and it's gonna be an interesting. The timing's really cool because, I mean, we're we are wrapping up this chapter of our of our lives. Well,
Have we mentioned that we're going to commit suicide at the end of this podcast?
at the movie.
I was thinking right after TFCon.
Oh yeah,
On stage.
Well, that's the top. Oh my god!
let's not even make a joke.
Do like a Jim Jones and have a big tub of Kool-Aid or Flavor Aid. I'm sorry.
Oh boy, I don't know if we want to even.
And the children go first, of course.
So just like when we were shipping stuff out to people and we were making Kevorkian jokes, now we're going to be in a room with a bunch of people
Kaczynski.
and we're
I don't
making
know.
I'm sorry, Kaczynski jokes, yeah.
That's a fine way to go. I'm happy to go that way. You can kill me. You can come up and shoot me. I'm fine.
No,
you can do a John Lennon on me.
I'm not liking any of this.
Are they going to be
at all.
holding a copy of
Catcher in the
Transformers
Rye. Oh,
issue 1?
No,
It's a big looker book.
again, it's going to be a child playing the murder simulator game and hitting you over the head
That's
with an
fine.
iPad.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I've grown tired of living.
No, hold on. I need. You're entertaining to me.
Do you know what a suicide bag is?
No.
Is it any plastic bag?
No, Google it, ladies and gentlemen, at work. It's basically a bag that you put. It's a way to kill yourself peacefully. You put a bag over your head and you run a tube into it, and the tube is connected to a bottle of either nitrogen or helium or argon, if you can get it. But argon's hard to get. But basically, since you breathe 70% nitrogen. And you breathe helium in the atmosphere anyway, you don't feel like there's no sense of suffocation. Even though you're not getting oxygen, your lungs don't know that and your brain doesn't know that. So you just go to sleep and die. You suffocate without the pain of suffocation.
And can you get this on Amazon?
There are plans to build them.
Ship
to build your own.
Prime?
It's very easy.
Should we have Autopod Decepticast themed suicide bags?
I feel like that's insensitive, Caleb.
This happened in Florida.
Motherfuckers. Fuck you guys.
Okay, so time to
Wow.
go into
That went in some directions. I'm sure I'm on every NSA watch list from my browsing history.
Well, how do you find out about? Does that pop up on Indiegogo?
I don't even know. I listen to a lot of murder podcasts, but also I mean I don't know. Maybe I don't know how I came across it. There's a Wikipedia article about them. So they're big in Australia.
they're just
They're trending in Australia.
hashtag.
Anywho,
Okay,
where were we?
so I think it's time to recap the last episode.
Okay.
Hot Rod got thick, son. Them
That's
thighs, that ass dough, red beans and rice certainly did not miss him. Rodimus channeled his inner ultimate warrior and flipped his opponent out of the Unicronian ring, thus taking Galvatron out of the match for the rest of the movie.
Bye-bye.
And now Rodimus has a firm grip on the Matrix housing, ready to open this baby up. Guys, it's Unicron killing time.
first we crack the shell, then we crack the nut inside.
But in this term, they cracked the nut inside, and then they cracked the shell. Right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes.
Mark it down for a
It's
yes.
the exact opposite of the great Rumblonian strategy
That's
of
right.
2005. Right at the top of the minute here, shots from a couple angles of Hot Rod releasing this Matrix core from its casing.
Rodimus.
Oh man, you're right. I'm sorry.
That illustration there is not as good as the first one. Like, they show him open it a couple of times. Open here.
It's from a couple of different angles, yeah.
Open here. This is looking pretty good. But then here,
At
that's not
one
good.
1 hour 17
I don't know.
minutes,
It's
4
looking.
seconds.
It's looking pretty. I don't know. It's looking pretty cheap. His arm cannons are kind of blah. I don't know what's going on with his hands.
His hands do look
Yeah.
a little wonky.
His face. I don't know.
a little derpy in the face.
This is a cheap. This one's.
he doesn't love the, but I do like the angle of the shot.
I do too.
I feel like it's
Yeah.
a dynamic angle.
And
but-
also, you should enjoy this because in a little bit, it's going to get exponentially worse.
Yeah.
yeah, enjoy it while you can. So the Matrix is glowing like a disco ball here. This
Yeah.
is crazy. It's released from its casing.
Somebody put It's Raining Men over this scene.
They should. It would be great.
Love that song.
And we should actually just put the Weather Girls.
Absolutely.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah,
The
well,
Weather-
that's-
in this video.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
superimpose it.
Let's do that.
So once released from the housing, it releases that we see more starbursts of kind of glorious energy, sizzling effect represented by I don't know what to call it other than triangles of power, which then release into an almost electrical display of pulsing plasma.
Oh, yeah, it's So cool.
The light seems to really light up the entire inside of Unicron's
Yeah,
brain.
it washes over.
It's like a sonic.
everything.
It's like a sonic wave of just fuckery.
That's right, for Unicron. Especially
Thanks for helping me out.
every cavernous tunnel.
for helping me out.
So every nook and cranny here is coated in this sonic fuckery.
Yes.
My notes said coated in a great glow of grace and goodness, but we'll go with sonic fuckery.
Some alliteration gems there.
We focus on a column here, which just kind of fails, bursting open with some kind of liquid. What could it be, Ryan? Then another cavern, another column, another explosion, just a green boom. And, we get to a point where we're inside what we know as sort of Unicron's neural headquarters.
Yeah.
Hey, it's that round globe with
all the
multi-screen
TV
kind of
With the
brain
TVs.
core.
Where we talked about one of them was just showing CNN, and
Yeah.
then one was like the ASPN4 with Rochambeau.
You know,
That's
if
a
it,
callback.
if it were like a Vegas casino, it'd be a different sports channel
Absolutely.
on every single screen.
There's some dog racing on there. For sure.
Even some like rabbit racing, the lowest common
Rabbit
denominator.
racing.
Is
That's
that
not a thing. Is it? That can't be a thing.
What about turtle
How would
racing?
you train-
How about turtle racing?
Like a turtle.
Like those like
Absolutely.
county fair games.
Like a frog, like Mark Twain style. Frog races.
So anyway, his brain core sizzles, explodes. More glorious shades of green and red, and I'm gonna have some stuff to say about this a little later.
And I guess if we agree that this is his brain or a neural net, like his actions coming up make a little more sense because he just goes
true.
bananas.
It's true, but
Unicron.
then some actions even later than that don't make sense.
It's true, he does speak later. Never mind.
But I do think this is my favorite of the inner Unicronian explosions. The way, I mean, I think that's just such an iconic place. We've revisited it several times, and now we see it as kind of like, damn, this motherfucker is dead. And also I think the explosions look really cool
very
at this
cool.
part. I also like how they kind of settled on green to distinguish it as kind of the Unicron explosion color. As we go into second 25 here, we see
boy.
just more energy, flame, plasma. They're bursting forth from every crack
Out of his
in his
titties.
armor. Starting with high beams, yes. Right out of Unicron's saucer nips. He's even trying to cover them up at some point, like he's ashamed.
I'm cold.
Don't be ashamed, Unicron. This is how God wants you.
God, he looks like such a dumpy fuck.
I know.
It's so ugly.
Paused here at 26. This is some of the worst drawings of the movie. His head design is like elongated. His horns look silly.
Everything's just off.
Yeah, I mentioned in the last episode how it was such a big deal where we show the Matrix opening and how like they committed so much animation equity to it. And man, I think we found the spot where they saved it.
Yeah, you gotta sacrifice
Ugh.
at some point. The idea is still cool, and
Sure.
the camera is backing away from Unicron, and for some reason he hunches over, and decides to just rip his own
fucking leg off.
front leg off. And just chucks it into outer space. Which I
like that.
thought it
It's
was
so weird.
funny. But to your point, though, I mean, if his brain, it's like a chicken with its head cut off, and the body just flies around. It's
Sure.
that same sort of thing in theory.
It
I
does
guess.
also speak to the Orson Welles quote where he talks about I am a planet, I menace somebody or something, and then I tear myself apart. That's what he's talking about.
Right. Yeah. Thank God. Well, that's the one thing that Orson Welles remembers from the script.
That is
And
vocalized.
then I had some parmesan and an entire chicken.
And then I died 5 days
It's
later.
surprising
I
he
ripped my
remembers
leg
that.
off and died.
I'm surprised he remembers that because it's not like he had to
Yeah.
I'm going to rip my
Exactly.
leg off.
I would like to. I would hope that out there somewhere exists like the takes.
The raw footage.
Oh, man, wouldn't it be something to find like
If
the raw?
anybody
It has
knows
to
how to get
exist.
that, please let us know.
There have been a lot of audio leaking from seasons 1 and 2 of the show that are pretty interesting that they reflect some of the changes in what we saw on screen and how the script was originally written for the show.
Mm-hmm.
One of the bigger ones was around Jetfire, and I'm trying to remember exactly what they were. Like, it had something to do with, like, there was always a lawsuit going on between, I want to say, Bondi and Hasbro/Takara over the rights to that character, and them changing the name and the design of the character was all a part of that. And I feel like in early versions of the line readings or the audio recordings for that, they refer to him as, I can't remember, it was Jetfire or Skyfire.
Yeah,
and
they
changed it. They changed it. There are a lot of those recordings out, and they're pretty cool to get your hands on. And I would think they'd have to exist for this somewhere.
Somebody has access to them.
Nobody really. It's probably disrespectful to put it out, I guess.
I would.
It would be. I'm sure it's not good.
Well, and by the director Nelson Shin's commentary, he has said that Orson Welles was having a rough time, and that is why one of the reasons why his voice is so heavily digitized.
Not only was he a drunk, he was also dying.
Yes.
So what are you gonna do?
So R.I.P.
Lock that up.
Is that our send off in this series?
That's our eulogy.
Lock
the
those
great Orson Welles.
Audio clips up in the vaults. So at this point, I'm sorry, I'm sniffling. Just for the reader,
just if you weren't aware.
I know I've had some hard snuff.
You're fine.
Sniffs,
You're doing great.
So thanks.
Peek behind the curtain. We record these 3 at a time. So
we're back inside Unicron at the 30-second mark. We've got Springer, Cup, Arcee, all blasting away.
They've been doing this.
I know.
Things.
That means they've been fighting these guys for a while.
I know. I have that in my notes. I'm like, holy shit, they're still fighting these goddamn grabbers.
And what sucks is they released that typhoon, which washed them away from everything. So wherever they ended up, these things were there too. They were just like, Jesus Christ, these things never stop coming. And one of these claws manages to pin Springer to a wall.
It's a very cool shot.
And but you know what? It's all okay because seconds later it just explodes because everything is exploding at this part.
Yeah, that shot with Springer, I really like that 3/4 over shot where it pins him to the wall. It's a very pretty illustration.
It was intense and very well drawn. Everything around them is exploding, which is good because it freed Springer. But now they've got to deal with all these explosions.
Get the hell out of there.
So that's bad. We cut to another part of Unicron.
That
here.
old
Go ahead.
supposed quote where 60% of movies include the words "Let's get out of here" or something like
really?
that. It's not true. I don't think. I don't know how you'd quantify that, but
there's just a lot of situations you got to get out of.
I actually have a bit. We'll talk about TV tropes in a minute. I have a whole thing.
Cool.
So, from another part of Unicron, Cliffjumper, Bumblebee, Jazz, and the Witwickies are all running down a flooded cavern as more explosions and sparks fly around them, releasing even more spouts of whatever that Unicron liquid is, Ryan.
Come.
And they regroup with Springer's unit. Springer acknowledges that Spike and Daniel are on the scene. Spike is like, what is going on? And Springer's like, no time for that. We got to get out of here.
In this shot, Springer looks smaller than Arcee.
I think he's back a little bit.
Yeah.
He also looks a little tubbier than usual, but
little tiny arm. I don't know.
He does.
It's not a great drawing.
He's got Trump hands.
Yeah.
the Arcee drawing looks pretty good.
Arcee looks
great.
Give that.
She's looking great.
So at this point, a shot from about 100 feet out of the group, we see Unicron's right hand reaching into himself and tearing open his own guts.
Which is like, God, that's so much strength. Just imagine trying to tear into your own body.
Yeah, and it's freaky. Also,
it's
just
very
to watch
disturbing.
As a viewer.
It's a neat concept.
Yes.
I like the concept. He's tearing himself apart.
It always bothered me. Like, it's just so weird. Like, I have a thing, and I don't have a problem with many things, except for like, what was that laugh?
He didn't laugh.
Okay, I don't have a problem with many things, except I don't like to see animals get hurt in any way in fiction, even animated. But like, body horror bothers me a bit. Like David Cronenberg stuff, where like your body's being changed in some way, and so the idea of tearing yourself apart like weirds me out.
Freaks you out. Yeah.
How do you feel about like zombies tearing people apart?
I'm fine with
and
that.
Viscera?
That doesn't bother me at all.
So
It's more like
Mutilation or
self-mutilation, or like something is inside you, changing you, or like mutating you. That freaks me out.
Then you should not watch the movie Annihilation.
Okay.
I mean that in all seriousness.
Okay.
Putting it out there just to maybe embed it in your head. Maybe
There probably is.
Said I shouldn't watch this. I will.
Body horror doesn't bother me to the level where I can't watch it. The same way that like anytime I see a dog in a movie, I'm like, why is that dog in that movie? That nothing better happened to that dog.
Oh, yeah.
Like I will shut movies off if something happens to an animal.
Yeah.
And but
Ever watch Old Yeller?
that is fun. Like that's not so bad because
What are you talking about? They shoot Old Yeller.
spoilers for that 70-year-old book. Yeah, I know, but it's merciful.
What about like Dumbo?
I've thought of this. I haven't watched Dumbo in so long,
Dumbo
and I
is-
feel like if I watch it now, like I have
Dumbo-
right now, I have Benji on my Netflix queue, and I'm like, I bet I don't want to watch that.
You should not watch Where the Red Fern Grows.
I read the book.
Oh.
The book. I couldn't read the book again. Like the older I get, the worse it gets. Like the more sensitive I get about it.
Dumbo is... I always had a problem watching Dumbo because of the abuse that he...
The circus abuse.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? I haven't
Yeah,
seen Dumbo
yeah.
since
Yeah.
I was a kid.
It's
I'm assuming that's what it is.
problematic.
I can remember bits and pieces that make me think that I probably shouldn't watch that movie.
We're getting off the rails, but anyway, definitely watch Annihilation.
Okay, great. I can watch, what I'm saying is I can watch body horror, but it weirds me out, but I cannot watch anything happen to an animal. Anyway, but so Unicron tearing into himself is fucking strange for me.
Okay.
So,
Sorry.
no, it's all good. So the team is running away from that particular gory moment, and they run past mounds of debris, sizzling electrical energy.
There we go.
And Daniel turns toward the camera. He says, "Look!"
We're right here at 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 58 seconds. We're going to see Hot Rod.
And we see
Rodimus, I'm sorry.
And why
please
wouldn't
give them
Daniel turn
some
and look?
respect.
Because everybody, the other Transformers, have left him behind.
Exactly.
Of course they have.
On brand.
So yeah, running towards us is Rodimus through the tunnel with bright green explosions bursting behind him, and that's
Yeah,
where
it's
this minute ends.
He's still not smart enough to transform into.
I
a
know
vehicle
nobody
yet,
transforms.
yeah.
Well, they do in a second. But this is the classic running from a fireball down a hallway, which the other day...
Would you like to get into your TV movie tropes, Ryan?
Thank you for this new segment.
tropes,
TV
tropes. Gotta get down with Ryan's TV tropes.
That was great. I love that. And I don't know if you guys have ever been like I think the website may actually be called TV tropes, but like just googling that and looking them up, there are rabbit holes upon rabbit holes of
I've
going
been
down
there.
TV tropes.
I've
And
been there.
I got stuck for hours the other day doing this, and this is the classic like running down a hallway from a fireball, which is literally called the outrun the fireball trope.
Right.
But man.
What's interesting is they don't pay off on that trope.
Not at all. Nope.
In the next minute. This
He
is
doesn't.
spoiler.
He doesn't even jump
Right.
away
Right.
from it or anything.
Right.
It just goes away.
Yeah, it just stops happening. It's like there's a lot of buildup with no release.
Yeah.
That's
It's edging.
Exactly.
It's Transformers edging. We mention that more often than should probably
It's
occur.
come up on at least 3 episodes.
Yes. That's all I had. I just go look up TV tropes. It's awesome.
Okay. Why don't we go into them?
Deviations.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Aaron speaking, and, I assume that you've maybe listened to a couple episodes of this, but in case this is your first time here with the Autopod Decepticast,
or you have onset.
Oh,
or you just can't distinguish Ryan and my voice. I'll just be
absolutely.
a helpful reminder that at this portion of the show here, we've got 2 versions of the script that are both have some inaccuracies to what we see on screen. And my version of the script is a little bit closer in. It's maybe 1 script out from the final. And so I'm going to review it, or I'm not going to review it. I'm going to provide some details from it. And then Ryan's version of the script is way out. And so he's going to share some of the crazy deviations from that. It's like a first gen, second gen, a Friedman psychedelic.
We call it a fever dream.
Fever dream, thank you. So I will go ahead and go first. I don't have much. According to my script, Unicron was holding on to the Junkion ship this whole time.
Oh.
Like he was holding on to it until after the Matrix was unleashed, and that's what caused him to let it go. So I guess he was just like grrr, crushing it with two hands, and then finally, like, the Matrix goes off, and he's like, ah, and lets it go.
What?
This isn't really a deviation so much. I just like this description. It says that Unicron, this is a description of Unicron in space. Unicron writhes in space, tearing himself apart, ripping off a leg and sending out sparks like a Roman candle.
Well, he did do that.
And also, it
Like
is
a hand grenade.
Pulling a pin on a hand grenade.
And also, it is. I think I might have this as a deviation to the next minute. It's written as though Unicron's hand, when it was, we see him ripping open his guts.
Right. Yeah.
In this version of the script, the hand goes inside the body to chase after them. So he's like sticking his arm.
How's that make you feel, Ryan?
He's like fisting himself and following, and like, and it's like it talks about the hand going down interior corridors and ultimately up into his own head, and he's tearing out pieces of his own brain.
That is so insane.
I kind of like that, even though it's bonkers.
I do not care for it.
So that's all I've got.
Oh my god, that makes none of the sense.
I would hope that his hand comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking. Like, what is his hand, a serpent? How is it going through all these rooms?
Yeah.
Unless he tore his arm off
and jammed it in there.
And jammed it in there, just let it live its own life, like Army of Darkness, or not, like Evil Dead 2.
Holy shit. All right. Well, if you remember from our last episode, the Hot Run Galvatron were still fighting, and Galvatron has revealed himself to be Megatron, which, by the way, goes fucking nowhere. There's no point to it at all.
Dun, dun, dun.
I guess just to shock Rodimus, because Galvatron seizes Rodimus's throat in his hands, but Rodimus slips his arms inside Galvatron's grasp and flicks them apart, and in so doing breaks the chain holding the bottle containing Optimus Prime's life spark, which flies away. It strikes.
You can never break the chain, by the way.
What is
Sorry,
that?
go ahead.
Is that a song?
It's a Fleetwood Mac song.
Thanks for letting me put that in there.
Music's great.
You didn't really have a choice.
Anyway, Optimus Prime's bottle flies out, and a pulsing hits the wall. Basically, the pulsing glow starts expanding into concentric outlines of light. And this is another Optimus Prime voiceover. This evil must be expunged. The goodness of the universe must survive. And then we go to Ingester's face as it contorts wildly in a spasm of tics, and his eyes and mouth, his expression of control as he writhes. No, my hunger has not been satisfied. My voices are so inconsistent on these.
No.
There you go.
My hunger has not been satisfied.
Okay. And
This
then
will
he
provide
said,
some
excellent
differentiation.
Well done. And then he's writhing in space, tearing himself to pieces, grasps a foot, and wrenches it off. So that makes it through all the way. Then a leg, toes, some fingers. He claws at his eyes, his neck, tearing away huge portions of his chest muscles, exposing bones and wire veins.
That reminds me of that scene in the original Poltergeist. Where
The guy tears
has
his
like
face
a
off?
hallucination of tearing his own face off.
Guess what? That fucked me up for a
that-
while.
I saw that movie. I had to have been 6 or 7. That is not a movie a 6 or 7-year-old should watch.
And that straight up was just on network TV. Just like let that through.
Yeah.
But don't show a boob. Yeah, that's a fucked up scene. Anyway, okay. So, shredding his side, flaying his metal skin, scattering Autobots and Junkions that were clinging to him. On Grimlock, as he flies back and into Sludge, who is battered but alive, the two helping each other, limping through space, which I don't know how you do.
You limp through, you limp along through space.
I just like the idea of them, crutching through space. And then Ultra Magnus says, he's overheating. He'll explode any astrosecond.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Cup says, Hot Rod, he's still inside. And then we're on Hot Rod and Galvatron again, where the interior is shaking, breaking apart. Debris, planets, ships at all are falling as light of expanding Optimus Prime life spark makes place brightly lit. White hot. So he was very drunk at this point of the script.
He's like almost. He's in the home stretch.
Exactly. He's like, I've got 3 pages to go, bitch. I gotta get that cocaine.
We're gonna feel bad when we find out that Ron Friedman has been in recovery since 1972.
Absolutely.
He was stone sober when he wrote this.
And then we cut to, or we don't cut to, but we're still inside there, and then we're on Jazz and Cliffjumper, and Jazz gets back into the space escape module. It's gonna blow! Got to! As the light bores a white-hot spot in which suddenly explodes, blowing Galvatron out of it, along with debris and Jazz and Cliffjumper's module. And then we're back. Galvatron says, "Yo!" whirling into space. So, and then we're back outside with Arcee, Daniel, and Perceptor. Perceptor helps a battered Blur, which straight up got
Perceptor.
smashed.
Hi, Perceptor.
Yeah, Perceptor's back.
Okay.
Ultra Magnus, we've
How
got
did Blur get smashed?
he was, remember, driving around Ingester's chest, shooting flames
Okay,
out of the back of
okay.
him, and just slapped him. And then Ultra Magnus says, we've got to get beyond range of detonation. And Arcee says, but Hot Rod. And Daniel says, he'd want you to survive. Which is a weird adult line for a child to speak. And then Ingester, now vibrating and swelling, shreds the body off into space as he shakes himself. Hotter, 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 swelling, more blowing holes, popping debris out of his face all around him.
Swelling.
Exactly. And then he says, Gra! And that's where we'll end. Gra! Thank you. Perfect. Wow.
Hearing this version of the script, one way it is certainly superior to what we see on screen is that this movie obviously does a great job of introducing a lot of new characters and kind of bringing you through the motions and getting to know them, but 3/4 of the way in just abandons them.
It's true, except for Hot Rod and Cup, basically.
Yeah, and even really, the Cup is out of there too at a certain point. But once you leave Junkie on, you don't care about Cup anymore.
Yeah.
Or really Quintessa, but
Yeah.
But, and I get it, you got to focus on Hot Rod as the main growth character, but it just does feel like, especially like Ultra Magnus, like, I feel
Absolutely.
like there's some kind of like, I don't know if redemption is the right word, but there's a story to be unpacked there.
Blur is the strangest one to me. Like,
I don't even know why he was a character.
In the movie?
He had
has
zero value.
yeah.
Other than to be another person that ditches Daniel when the goings get rough.
Right.
Really, in the movie, after Junkie on, Ultra Magnus is completely superfluous. Like, he's meaningless.
Yeah. Oh well, that's how it goes.
I can't remember if I don't think we addressed it in the last minute I think you had a point about like where you thought the fight between Galvatron and Rodimus was not as epic as it should have been.
Right.
I thought that's where you were going with this script, where it's a pretty epic ending.
Yeah, it is actually. I that popped in my head where like their fight seems a lot cooler. Mm-hmm. And I didn't like the thing from last episode where he got helped out.
Yeah.
Either, but other than that,
It's
it
true.
Was a good fight. Let's see here. Oh. So okay, we can.
I am the ghost of the iconic moment.
You know.
Caleb, have you heard from the ghost recently?
No, I know they're in post right now with the show.
Oh.
Post.
So-
that's right.
Yeah, so maybe he's.
So that means he's not filming. He's available.
Ghost Rehab or
Yeah,
whatever
he's
the
probably,
shit.
he's probably going to do a what do they call it, a junket?
Yeah,
Oh,
press
he's gonna start
junket.
hitting
the junket.
talk shows.
Yep, I think so.
Hitting that
God,
circuit.
how did he get so popular?
Well,
because he's really fucking annoying.
Yeah, but who isn't on television
guess
these
it's true.
days?
Whoa, roast mode.
Yeah.
It's like beast mode.
Terrorize.
I do think it's funny that Mike Seibert got something from Chico's in the mail.
Yeah.
I didn't see this.
That's because you don't pay attention to our social.
I look at things. Was it on? It wasn't on.
on-
I basically look at Twitter. That's
he
pretty
put
much
it on.
it.
He put it on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
They sent him something.
He
It was just
he-
a Chico's catalog or
But
something
you
like
opened
that.
Oh,
was
so
like-
it wasn't related though.
Not to
It was
the
a
podcast.
it was a coincidence.
Okay, I was gonna be like,
But in his mind,
I want some goods.
But in his mind, he probably thought maybe somehow we had sent it to him or not, But that's the play.
Got it.
That's
Got it. All right. Well, I like to think the universe made that happen.
It did.
Well, what is the universe telling you your iconic moment is?
All that Unicron spooge. No, I'm kidding.
them Unicron milky titties.
I forgot what I wrote down, but now looking at it, this is kind of appropriate to be dirty too. I like.
Oh God.
It sounds ridiculous, but I love the fingers in the matrix holes.
That was the last minute.
No.
Was that this minute?
There's some maybe. I might have been
Who
too
cares?
drunk last night at this point. Anyway, I guess I don't have one. It's great.
I put the leg ripping and the gut digging. That always was that's weird. It's weird.
Very weird.
It's real weird. It's a weird component that made it through every single draft.
Hot Rod running up the what kind of shot do you call it?
Outrun the fireball.
The outrun the fireball shot.
It's pretty good. I like the reveal to the rest of the cast of Rodimus.
Which is really coming up in the next minute.
It's well, Daniel says, "Look."
That's true. Yeah, this is a reveal. The reaction to the reveal is what we'll get in the next minute.
This boy has seen so much trauma in the past.
He's
48 hours.
Going to need all of the therapy.
Yeah.
He's unwell.
He's made.
And then they just shuffle him off with Wheelie, and that's not going to end well.
No.
Next time on the Autopod Decepticast.
Quote Hot Rod, "We gotta get the fuck out of here!"
Yep, I remember that.
Yes.
And Destiny, I mean, I don't know what to say about it other than it's probably going to be destroyed.
Destiny?
Destiny. So, hey.
I don't think you can destroy mine.
Well, we'll see. TFCon reminder, it's going to be at that TFCon.
That's perfect.
Yeah, we're leaving that in.
TFCon reminder. We got to be there, bitches.
I wasn't laughing until you guys started.
I know.
So good.
I'm so snotty right now. So yeah, that's October 26th through 28th, Crown Plaza, Chicago. We'll be there. Come hang out. Fist bump. Ryan doesn't like to shake hands. He only fist bumps. Actually, Ryan likes to hug
Yes.
and fist bump.
For too long.
He likes, yeah, please come and put your arm around his shoulder.
I really don't like to be touched.
Don't introduce him to your girlfriend, because he'll take your girl.
He will finger bang her.
Yeah, it's kind of
In front of you, because...
Don't touch him, he'll touch you.
That's right. That's the shirt I'll be wearing. Don't touch me, I'll touch you.
Yeah.
This is gross.
I feel like we should try again.
No way! I'm not gonna. Yeah.
Okay. So, aside from all that, please continue to listen to the show. iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and TuneIn. Follow us on our social media. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of them at Autopod Decepticast. Have we done anything on Instagram in a while? Do we keep up
Instagram's
with
pretty
that?
fallow.
I put stuff on if it feels like an Instagram-y type of thing to do.
It is.
I do it once in a while, and I will say that you get a lot more of results from randos by hashtagging on there. You do
Really?
get a lot of likes from if you hashtag something.
I didn't even know if
fucking
hashtag was
dinosaurs.
important on
It's
Instagram.
it apparently well for whatever we're doing. It's probably the most important on Instagram. If you,
It's the most important thing that you've ever done.
yeah. So we get a lot of good results from people that are not following us by hashtagging on Instagram.
Our hashtag game is very poor.
Just in time for our podcast to be over.
right.
We're getting the social
That doesn't
media
mean we
shit
can't be
down.
promoting it all through time.
That's true. I have some ideas for some special episodes we can do after we're done here.
Me too.
Good.
Great.
Super.
That's great.
In addition to all of our social media, of course, you can see extra bonus content at autopoddecepticast.com. I don't know. Ryan, what do you think? A Three Amigos clip?
Yes.
You know
Fucking-
that thing where they that scene where they sing with those horses and this randomly the horses start singing and they have
I
animated
don't
mouths?
remember that part.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
All right.
It's kind of like a boom diada boom
Yeah, they're
diada.
doing the backup vocals. I just love it. I love the bit where it's hot and one of them like drinks their canteen and it's just like a little bit of water, and then the other one holds up his canteen and just
Pours it all
Sand
out, yeah.
falls in
Oh.
his mouth.
Oh, I don't
And then
remember
the third one pulls it up. And it's just so much water. And it's like he just throws it on the ground, and there's water pouring out of the canteen.
That's good comedy. That's the rule of three.
yes, that is it's classic.
The horses singing just made me think of. Do you guys remember the Claymation Christmas?
Yes.
with the California raisins.
Yes.
yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I have it on DVD.
The camels.
wow.
The camels.
Yeah, the camels.
Yeah.
That's what it made me think of.
Yeah.
God of Wonder, God. Or Star of Wonder. That's it. Star of Wonder, Star of Light, Star of Beauty bright. Westward leading, still proceeding. Guide us to.
Basically, the California Raisins were like a Bad Temptations cover band.
Yeah.
Right? Is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kinda
That's- I think that's the
point was?
conceit.
They weren't even real.
They weren't even real.
As per the movie, what is it called? The NWA movie, Straight Outta Compton. The record label they signed with was the only other major act on that record label at the time was the California Raisins.
What?
But California Raisins sold a shit ton of records.
They were on a record label?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Holy shit.
Put out an album.
The world's always been fucked up, guys.
Hey, all you need is some claymation fruit. Dried fruit, preferably.
Yeah,
and you've
absolutely,
got
'cause
yourself
that
an
way-
act, baby.
That way it doesn't spoil.
That's right. All right, thanks, everybody.
Bye.
All right, let's watch the Amigos camp.
Cybertron!
That's it.
I'll let him get through the hour.
It's a hard stop though, right? I mean, it pretty much stops kind of right there though, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Oh, this is going to be an exciting episode.
Yep.
This is like the climax.
Caleb makes a rare cum joke.
Yeah.
He used to love talking about cum.
He used to love talking about nothing but. Every interaction, it would be like, all right, I understand about the semen.
Because his prowess. The cannonball.
The semen.
Yeah. I don't think I like to talk about it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I just like to do it and show it. Bring it to school. In a bag.
Yeah, this is. I have a bad feeling. I have a bad feeling that's going in as a.
I love it.
Fuck.
I have our intro.